Hi, everybody. Sports Talk Chicago back at it, back with you. Last segment of the program here today. If you missed anything, podcast it. sportstalkchicago.com, all podcasting platforms. You could also watch the full replay of the show on YouTube. Check us out there, Sports Talk Chicago. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as we climb up towards 20,000 subscribers. John Meadows is directing and producing. I'm Jon Zaghloul, your host for today's show. Just want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all of our great affiliates. WKAN, Kankakee, 105.5 The Ticket, ACTV, Cities, 92.9 Talk FM, WJOB, and JED TV. They are all awesome. We're so happy to be a part of all these stations, TV and radio. And the Sports Talk Chicago syndication network is put on the air because of them. So a huge shout out to them at all times. Please support those stations too. Look them up. Their logos are up there. Look up the stations. Check out their other programming. Check out what they're doing in their communities. Some great stuff over there, great program directors, great people, and I'm really happy and excited to be on those stations all the time. So we talk Cubs. The MLB winter meetings are going on, and the White Sox have also not been silent. Now, they didn't make a Craig Counsell type of move, because they never will, but they have made some interesting moves and have made interesting comments about what's going on. Actually, 3 items of note for the White Sox that have occurred, and it's so exciting to discuss some of this stuff because as critical as I've been about the White Sox, they've been actually doing things the right way. You probably are starting to hear me say that, but they've been doing things the right way as of late. So Chris Getz, who's the new GM, who I rightfully so criticized, has been on the ball so far. First of all, he declined an option, a club option for Tim Anderson. So Tim Anderson is no longer a Chicago White Sox player. He was going to be due $14 million. Getz said no, and it's over. I'm so happy that this occurred. Tim Anderson was a disappointment last year, to say the least. Complete disappointment. Now, I know he had stuff going on off the field, and a lot of it was due to his own actions. But Anderson had a -2 WAR, had a .245 batting average, had a 60 OPS plus, and he was due $14 million. He was a liability. He was a problem. Goodbye. Goodbye. So Tim Anderson's no longer with this team, and here's what Getz had to say. Okay, now I want you to hear this quote here. The conversation with Anderson was difficult. It was for me personally, just because I know how much he has meant. He's my son's favorite player as well, so not only is Anderson disappointed in me, but so is my son. We had 101 losses last year. To have to fill so many holes, both in the near term and the long term, it felt like it was the best decision to decline that option. Yes, Chris Getz, yes. I take back what I said initially. You're doing the right thing right now. Should Tim Anderson have stayed after hitting .245 and leaving his team out to dry last year? No. Great move in declining a $14 million option. Should Tim Anderson have made $14 million with an OPS plus of 60? No. No way. And Chris Getz said, no, we're not doing this anymore. Now, according to reports, the door is open for a reunion. And if Anderson wants to come back and get paid $5 million, so be it. But his off-the-field distractions combined with his poor performance led to this decision being made. It wasn't Chris Getz. People are going to be pissed at Chris Getz. It wasn't Chris Getz. It was Anderson who did this to himself. When you hit .245 in your age 30 season, you're due $14 million, not to mention the fact they had only 1 home run and hit a 60 OPS plus, what do you expect to happen? Tim Anderson did this to himself, and he's the reason why his option was not picked up. That's business. That's not being mean. Chris Getz just said he's he's my son's favorite player. I know he's been a lot to this organization, and Chris Getz helped to raise him up in the farm system, right? When Chris Getz was helping out there before he got promoted. Chris Getz knows who Tim Anderson is. They know each other very well. This is not, I hate you, Tim Anderson, goodbye. It's, hey, we're trying to allocate money to the right people. We can't afford to pay you $14 million to hit .245 again. We can't. We just can't do it. This team is not performing. It didn't perform last year. We need a retool of things, and sure enough, that's what occurred. So good riddance and farewell, I guess, to Tim Anderson. He is no longer on this team. And, maybe he'll come back. I don't see that happening, but I guess there's certainly a possibility in which it could. So long to him. Great move by Chris Getz. The White Sox also announced additions to their coaching staff, and I have to say, I loved these additions. A lot of people were crapping on him, especially the hitting coach one, Marcus Thames. Anyone remember Marcus Thames? I watched him play when I was a kid. Tigers, Yankees, raw power hitter. Well, he's going to become the hitting coach for the White Sox. Now, everybody's been saying, oh, he's been on one-year deals a couple of times. So what? He was the Yankees hitting coach for 2017 through 2021. Then he had one-year stints with the Marlins, and this past year with the Angels. Hear this about the Angels. Okay, the Angels, before Thames came in, they were hitting 233, 297, 390 as a slash line, 623 runs scored, 26% strikeout percentage. This year, under Thames, just in 1 year, the batting average went up from 233 to 245. Their runs went up by over 100. Their strikeout percentage went down by a whole percentage, and their walk rate went up by 1%. In 1 year, Marcus Thames did that. And this White Sox team could not hit for anything last year. They didn't have one hitter over 300. Their best hitter was Luis Robert. I'm not saying batting average is everything, but Luis Robert even hit like 270. This is huge for the White Sox. This is a big hiring. This is a seasoned pro. This is somebody who has experience, not only playing the game, but coaching the game, coaching in terms of hitting. This is awesome. They also added Jason Bourgeois as their first base and outfield coach, Matt Wise, Grady Sizemore coming in. Remember him? At the time, the Cleveland Indians standout, he's in as a coach. Drew Butera is their catching coach. Paul Yadish was brought in to help with minor league development. I don't know how this is all going to work, and maybe in a couple of years we're going to say, wow, this was really a dumb move. But I'll tell you what, in the moment, smart stuff by Chris Getz and company. Seriously. All of these guys are established, seasoned major leaguers. Not all of them have been great, but they're seasoned. Thames has been a coach for a while, but Sizemore never coached before. Giannis never coached before. I think they're going to be welcome additions to this team. Now, Ethan Katz got to stay, kind of surprising, at pitching coach. Charlie Montoyo is going to be the bench coach. Montoyo, former MLB manager with the Blue Jays, who had winning seasons multiple times. I like this coaching staff. Katz said this about the staff, quote, "We worked together with the interview process. Pedro Grifol was involved, myself and others in the front office, so we communicated throughout the whole thing." And here's what Grifol said about Marcus Thames specifically. "I like the way his answers were constructed. He has an idea of what he wants to do. He's worked with stars. He's worked with rookies. We feel he's the right guy for us going forward." Getz said he's coached in many different markets, players with different backgrounds, higher profile, younger players, so that type of starter skill set was really important for where we're headed. That really stood out. Grady Sizemore, too. I love this. Sizemore was one of the most elite baseball players of his time back in the late 2000s, 2006 to like 2010. Three-time All-Star, two-time Gold Glover, Silver Slugger Award winner. He was a really good player, and I think he's going to be a good coach. They brought in Wise as well to help out in terms of pitching, Matt Wise. He and Thames were teammates last year as coaches in Los Angeles with the Angels. I love all of these hires. I have not one complaint about any of them. I don't know how great things are going to end. I don't know how great things are going to even go this year, but I'll tell you what. You want to talk about trying to seek out the best guys for the job? They did that. I give them credit. I give Getz credit, Grifol credit, even Jerry Reinsdorf credit. They did a great job at doing this search. Don't care what anybody else says. You're going to hear detractors. People complain, of course, because it's the White Sox. But genuinely, if you look at these guys on paper and look at their resumes, look at the name recognition behind it, you really can't find too many complaints with any of these coaches. Not yet, at least. We'll see how they play out. But good for them. Here's what Chris Getz said, too, on the radio about the White Sox. This is their general manager speaking. Quote, "We've got a talented group, there's no question. I don't like our team. And we've got to make some adjustments so we improve for 2024. Here's what else he said. "When I say I don't like our team, We've got pieces that are talented and are attractive, and they can be a part of a winning club. But obviously, we haven't been able to go out there and perform. It's not a well-rounded club right now. Whoa. So we've got to find players to come on in here and help us get in the right direction. And if that means that we use some of the players we have in our club to multiply, and not only help us in the near term, but also in the long term, we'll do it. It's going to take time this offseason to build out this roster. Wow. This is Chris Getz, and he said there are no untouchables. Now, everybody says there are no untouchables. When ESPN made cuts, Stephen A. Smith said he might be out. Bull crap. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But the fact is, he said, I don't like our team. He said, I don't like our team. He said it's not a well-rounded club right now. I can't believe that he's being allowed to say these things. I am stunned that he's allowed to say this stuff. It's great. I love it. Because he's right. He's right. They could not stick with their old core. Tim Anderson was washed. He is, and unless he goes through some sort of revitalization, it's pretty much going to be over for him. The only one on this team who is salvageable from last year is Luis Robert. Even Dylan Cease was mediocre. He was bad. So when Chris Getz says, I don't like our team right now, when he says the roster is not well-rounded, he's right. It's not. He came out and said that publicly. He's being honest with people. Now again, he's new. He has time to do something. It's his own team, quote unquote. How much control he has, we don't really know. But I'll tell you what. This is a breath of fresh air. This is not the Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn show anymore. And you could tell. This is, hey, I'm sick of this BS just as much as you guys are. We're making a change. We're making a change. So this is exciting. And for anybody out there who's a White Sox fan, if you still are, and if you're not, I don't blame you, but if you're still a White Sox fan, this is awesome news. We're talking about new voice and honesty. More than anything, honesty. I'm all for honesty. That's what we do on this show. Honesty. So for Chris Getz to come out and say, yeah, you know what? We're not good. I don't like this roster. Wow, what a breath of fresh air. Couple of words. That's all he said. He said one sentence. That's all he said. And I'm like, wow. Somebody's actually saying what needs to be said. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be successful next year. They're going to win the World Series next year because Chris Getz said this stuff. All I'm saying is I do have a little bit more confidence knowing that this is the mindset that they're operating with. Hey, our team's not great. We need to improve on things. We're not perfect. What could we do? Having that mindset, having that idea is huge. Not lying to yourself is huge. He's not. He's not lying to himself. And no one's lying to him. He knows where they stand, and he knows what he needs to do to be good. And that is unbelievably respectable. So he says farewell to Tim Anderson. They hire a bunch of really highly credentialed coaches. And they come out and say publicly, I don't like this team. They're doing everything right up to this point. I criticized them at the time, rightfully so. But up to this point, considering the situation they're in, we're giving them a lot of rope, a lot of slack right now, but they're looking okay. And maybe, just maybe, they can get themselves out of this tanking and black hole type of situation in terms of talent and opportunity and potential for years to come. Just maybe. Not going to go that far yet, but what they're doing now, they're laying the foundation. They're taking the steps to get to that point. So I give them credit. I really hope it works out. On that note, that's going to be all the time we have for today here on Sports Talk Chicago. Man, what an action-packed, electric show. So much we got to today. So many hot takes and opinions. That's what we do here. We're grateful that you decided to tune in here tonight. I want to give a big shout out to all of our great radio and TV affiliates once more. They are amazing, and they put us on the air every single week. Check sportstalkchicago.com to find out when our show is going to be airing near you. We're on WKAN 105.5 The Ticket. HCTV, Cities 92.9 Talk FM, Jet TV, and WJOB. 6 stations, part of the Sports Talk Chicago syndication network. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to John Meadows directing and producing the entire evening here tonight. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can watch every show on there at Sports Talk Chicago. Hit the like button. If you miss any parts of this show, you want to listen to it with your ears, go to podcasts or go to sportstalkchicago.com and check it out. And follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. We're going to be live for Bears games coming up, so make sure you hang out with us on YouTube for that, also on our Twitch channel. And really, really appreciative of you guys tuning in. We had a great time tonight. So much to talk about, so much to discuss, so much going on in the world of Chicago sports. We're appreciative that we get the opportunity every week to be unfiltered, to be opinionated, not worry about what people have to say, and just talk about what's going on. We enjoy it, and based on the numbers, it seems that you guys do too. Until next time, so long, everybody. Thank you.